Entrepreneurship and small business management. Distribution. Objectives. After viewing this presentation, the student should be able to evaluate distribution channels. We have the direct distribution channel, the one-level distribution channel, and the two-level distribution channel. Distribution. Distribution is part of the place consideration in the marketing mix. You recall the marketing mix from the previous presentations. That would be product, place, price, and promotion. Well, we're referring specifically to place considerations here. And by distribution, we mean the distribution of the product from the producer to the end user. And as an entrepreneur, you may be a producer of a product, you may be a wholesaler, you may be a retailer, you may be a trucking company, you may be an agent, but you will be involved in the distribution chain. And at some point, you might even take over another intermediary in the chain. For example, a supplier or a producer might take over a wholesaler. This would be called disintermediation. Here's a question for you. Distribution is distributing the producer to the end user. Secondly, distributing profits. Thirdly, distributing the product to the end user. Fourthly, distributing product to famine-hit countries. Or fifth, none of the above. Slide entitled Distribution Channel Types. We have direct distribution, which is from the producer to the consumer. One level, which is from the producer to the retailer to the consumer. And then we have two level, which is producer to wholesaler to retailer to consumer. Direct distribution, you recall from the previous slide, is from the producer direct to the end user, and the examples of that is Farmers Market, and also Dell Computers ship direct to end user or consumer. Some of the pros of this is the entrepreneur or the owner is able to retain quality control because he can maintain or she can maintain quality right the way to the point of handing the product over to the consumer. And then the entrepreneur benefits from direct customer feedback on the product. Some of the cons is it's quite limited in distribution. You can only serve one customer at a time. And then also, as an entrepreneur, you attending, say, a farmer's market to sell your product, you are in fact at that point working in the business as opposed to working on the business. Here's a question for you. An advantage of direct distribution is, firstly, the ability to delegate quality control. Second, direct customer feedback. Third, limited distribution. Fourth, opportunity cost of working in the business is working on the business. One level distribution is from the producer to the retailer to the customer. The retailer providing the one level in the definition. Some of the pros is greater distribution, that you can reach more customers. Secondly, you could benefit from value added if the retailer has a good reputation. Thirdly, the credit risk is passed on. If you're the producer, you're passing the credit risk on to the retailer. In other words, you don't have to wonder whether the consumer is going to pay you. And then you also benefit from retailer advertising. Some of the cons of one-level distribution: less quality control, that you hope that the retailer isn't going to undermine your efforts on quality. For example, the way the product is presented. And then secondly, the retailer needs to take a cut from the profits for selling your product. Two-level distribution is from the producer to the wholesaler or agent to the retailer to the consumer. So the two levels included in this definition is the wholesaler, agent, or the retailer, and the retailer. Some of the pros: you can get the product out to more people, in other words, greater distribution. Secondly, allows the owner to work on the business and not in the business, because somebody else is taking over getting the product out to the customer. The credit risk is passed on to the next stage in the distribution channel. And then finally, you've got potential added value if the wholesaler or the agent or the retailer has certain prestige or a good reputation. Some cons: the intermediaries in the distribution channel might want, or certainly want, a cut in the profits. Secondly, breakdowns in the channel it might cost you money, even though those breakdowns are of no fault of your own. Then we have product wastage, that sometimes the product might be dropped or embezzled or disappear. Fourthly, loss of control. Loss of control in the way that the product is presented, or quality control issues. And then finally, the wholesaler or the agent might be a very powerful personality in the chain, and it might not be possible for you to have your goods sold by the wholesaler or the agent, or at least passed on to the retailer. Here's a question for you. Two-level distribution involves distributors. Secondly, trucking companies. Thirdly, wholesalers. Fourth, after sales. Or fifth, none of the above.